So end-stage kidney disease is something that patients who have irreversible kidney failure. The cause of kidney failure could be anything, but they have irreversible kidney failure. You could have glomerulonephritis, you could have IgA nephropathy, you could have hemolytic uremic syndrome, you can have, AKI, which is not recovered, interstitial nephritis, anything, any cause of kidney disease. But once it reaches a irreversible stage, the permanent damage sets in. Then you have something called end-stage kidney disease, where the GFR falls to less than 15 ml per minute. So in that condition, we offer renal replacement therapy to patients to take care of the functions that are left over by the deceased kidney. Okay. So those options are, one is dialysis. So that could be hemodialysis or peritoneal dialysis. But the third and the most best treatment and the most advanced treatment is kidney transplant. So kidney transplant has the potential of replacing all your functions of the kidney, the endocrine functions, the secretory functions, the excretory functions. Okay. So the acid base, the homeostasis functions, all of it can be taken care of by placing a donor kidney, which is compatible in the patient who has got end-stage kidney disease. So the kidney transplant happens. So you have, if in the picture you see, there are two native kidneys here. It's not necessary you remove your native kidneys, but you can put the transplant kidney where there is space and where there is a obvious vascular structure where you can anastomose the kidney. The kidney might come from a deceased donor, meaning a patient who is brain dead. Their family can come forward to donate the patient's organs. So they can donate kidneys, they can donate liver, intestine, pancreas, many things. And or it can come from a live donor, like one of your relatives can give, a spouse can give, children can give, or parents can give to children, grandparents, so all that. So it could either be a deceased donor or from a living donor. From the living donor, we're going to take only one kidney. From the deceased donor, two patients will get one kidney of that deceased patient. So how is kidney transplant even possible? Okay. So the so you know that even a virus, we have an immune response against infections or, pollen allergies, everything. The body perceives it as foreign and then starts acting against it. It starts producing cytokines, inflammation happens, fever sets in. So this is how the body reacts to something that is foreign. Okay. So it identifies the antigen as non-self antigen, right? So non-self antigen is recognized by the T cell, which then goes activated and then produces antibodies via B cells. And then you have a host of inflammatory reaction. So now what will happen when you give a foreign kidney? So the donor is not your own identical twin. Only identical twins will have everything similar. Okay. Otherwise, all of us will have genetic differences, we'll have antigen differences in many portions of our genome. Okay, so any organ that is being given, the biggest challenge is how do you make the body accept the new organ which is coming from a genetically completely different individual. So that is the main challenge. So it relies on managing the immune responses to prevent rejection. So we call something when the body will reject it, when the body will push the kidney, trying to push the new kidney out of the system by mounting an inflammatory reaction. So that's called rejection. So all of transplant science is about how you manage this immune response. Okay. So cells, tissues, or organs which are transplanted between genetically indistinguishable individuals, it's like, identical twins. Okay. They are not rejected. So they'll not get rejected because everything is the same. The slightest genetic difference between the donor and recipient is enough. So even if your parent is going to give you the kidney, your mother or your father will be a 50% match at least, right? So you can share even more genes, like your mother and father can share genes themselves, and you can have more than 50% even coming from your, match between your mother and you, or from your father and you. But still, there's still a lot of non-matched genes. So even the slightest degree is enough to cause graft rejection. Okay. And in all of these rejection, innate and adaptive, both the immune systems, both the innate immunity, like your natural killer cells, your macrophages and all that, and your adaptive immune system, like your T cell, B cell responses, everything plays crucial role in this allograft survival. And in this, the antigen presentation, as in all infections and all inflammatory response, the antigen presentation is going to be the first step. So the donor antigen will be presented to the T cell. So that antigen presentation is the first step in initiating the immune response. Okay. So why do we have to know all this? Only then you can attack those particular mechanisms by using immunosuppressive therapies and avoid rejection.